Hey everyone, this is Khara Rental. Welcome back to another video. We're talking all things financial therapy and supporting therapists. I have a special guest with us today. Hi, Ashley. Say hi to everybody.
Hi, Cara. Hi, everyone. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for having me today.
of course. Yes. So Ashley and I connected through LinkedIn. I'm meeting lots of amazing professionals through that. And Ashley has some ideas for all of you when it comes to your business, especially cash flow, which is so timely as we go into a holiday slump, that January slump that so many clinicians have. So before we jump into that, Ashley, do you want to say anything about your business overall before we talk cash flow?
Yes, absolutely. So I support mainly therapists who are using QuickBooks Online, and it is one of my kind of passion projects. I love therapists. I'm incredibly biased when it comes to the mental health profession. My mother-in-law is a therapist, my husband is a therapist, my sister-in-law is a therapist. So it is an
Oh my
industry that I
gosh.
hold very dear to my heart, and I'm very excited to be here and to help any therapist that I can.
Yeah, and I know offline you shared that part of the reason that you got into this is you were helping those family members or some of those family members with their numbers. So I just love your personal story. So cash flow, for someone who's like, what the heck does that even mean? How do we define that?
Okay, so cash flow for the most part is basically understanding where your numbers are coming and going from, and that's kind of the meat of it, I suppose you would say. And one thing that the best way to understand that is to really see, well, where am I making my money from? Is it mainly client sessions? Are you offering supervision? Are you doing any training? And is it, what does your fees look like from, like, I know you're probably using Stripe because that's what's integrated into Simple Practice, but is that your main payment processor? What are the fees associated with that? And just kind of understanding those general costs.
Mhm.
The next thing that I would probably recommend is kind of after that is to make a budget and kind of understanding like, okay, my overall income is X a month. However, my expenses are Y. And that's because I've got advertising, whether it be Psychology Today, you do LinkedIn advertising, you've got your rent, your utilities, the list goes on and on and on. And just really sort of understanding those operating costs.
Right,
And
right.
yes, so that's definitely, I would say, probably the bigger parts of cash flow.
So obviously love most of this because it's about just knowing your numbers, right? Like on a very
Yes.
basic level, it's like how much is coming in, how much is going out. So for the fact that 70% of clinicians are avoidant with their money, this is very important for
Yes.
folks to think about, to spend that time getting to know what's coming in and what's going out. I love how you also mentioned multiple income streams because so many of the clinicians that I connect with now have maybe two or three income streams. There are some of us who have 15 income streams, which sounds really sexy and exciting, which they're like trickling in. Like this is not big money, but I think that's becoming the norm in mental health is to have more than just client sessions coming in
Mhm.
for income. So for someone who gets all those numbers together, I know you mentioned QuickBooks. Is that the system people should be considering? Are there other systems to help them with that? What are your
There
thoughts?
certainly are other systems that you could go as old school as using an Excel spreadsheet inputting those costs and those income amounts into an Excel spreadsheet. And that'll also generate charts for you. So that way you can kind of see like, oh, this is where things are going out. Here's where my money is coming in. I personally live in the realm of QuickBooks. It's kind of what I enjoy doing the best. What it's really great about QuickBooks is there is a whole cash flow section within QuickBooks. And there are reports that you just click on that little button and it'll show you your cash out and it will give you a projection for up to 90 days. So if it's something where you're like, hey, I really want to do some EMDR training, or I've been thinking about taking like an overdue vacation, what is that going to look like on my books? Like, is that something I can do? Use that cash flow projector because that'll give you an
Nice.
accurate amount of like, oh, is this something that I might be able to do? Another really great feature of that center is if you're wanting to say for any of training or vacation is you can use these fun little envelopes, which is almost like you can set a goal and say, for instance, if the training's like $2,000, you can have so much of your income go straight into these envelopes until you hit that goal. And once you hit
Nice.
that goal, it'll go feed right into your bank account and you can go ahead and purchase that training. It's fantastic. I really love that part.
That was awesome. So like I know on my end I've talked about like multiple savings accounts for this purpose, but yours feels like more integrated where it's like really just like already tapped in and like in a line versus I have to make all this effort to make the things happen. So I like that. I
Yes.
have not used that feature, so I'm gonna have to check that out myself personally.
Yes. Yes, it's really, yeah, it's great. I've had a lot of success with clients and they've really enjoyed being able to log in and see like, oh, I only have like 50, I'm halfway there, or oh, I'm like 75% there. So yeah, they get very
Yeah.
excited about it.
The
And it's
visual
yes.
incentivizes.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So I know we talked offline about there's this slump that we all go through that creates panic and scarcity and so much that's not great for the mental health field. Would the envelopes be part of this equation, or what were your thoughts on how people handle the slump?
Absolutely. So I think understanding your budget and understanding where your costs come from, that's a huge part of it. So once you kind of understand, like, okay, I know that my operating costs are going to be roughly $2,500 a month. I know that my income is roughly going to be $4,000 a month. Okay, like if I take a couple of weeks off here and there, am I going to be okay? And so I think utilizing those envelopes is a great way to kind of understand, and seeing those projected reports really is helpful because it is such a visual of seeing that green up and especially of the 90 days, and then oh, I see a little bit of red, and so what does that red look like? How can I get it so that way there's not going to be any red in January and it's only going to be green? So what are some additional streams of income that I need to figure out and do now to, yeah,
Yeah.
help prepare for that?
So very much that preparation, very much empowerment of like, hey, do something now. Don't just feel the slump 3 months from now. Like that doesn't feel great.
Right.
I love that. And I think a lot of people, they know like emotionally it's going to happen, but this like helps them land back in logic of like, if this is something I'm worrying about, how do I implement a strategy now to not feel that slump? Or in
Yes.
my case, scarcity, where like they scramble to get clients that aren't a good fit, or they just end up doing something that's not in alignment with the
Ye-
business. And I'm sure you've seen that too in your role.
yes. 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 And I think that's kind of one of the most challenging aspects of therapists. I've really sort of, they want to help everyone. And sometimes it's just not a good fit. So if you can kind of put in the work before those J months, the January, the June, July, and get those and the months in between where you have those sort of concrete foundations and you are good to go. Like you can breathe that sigh of relief when those J months come and exhale.
Yeah, I love that. I had never really thought of it, but yeah, the J months actually absolutely matter.
Yes.
I'm like, wow, that's an easy way to remember that. Although most of
Mhm.
us just go, oh, summer. But yeah, that's June, July, and parts of August, depending on where people are going to school. Other thoughts as we're thinking about cash flow? Any other tips for the holiday season, the slump that happens in January, since that's something we've both noticed?
I would say also, if you are wanting to do growth mode, like if this is also the time too to really sort of the January, the June and July of figuring out like, okay, can I take on someone else? Is this something where I can do? How do I go about doing that? How can I figure out what would be the best for my business? And really sort of being like, okay, I think I can do it. Looking at my cash flow, I think I can project. I can kind of figure out this way, and yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay.
Using those definitely the best way.
So I'm noticing, I'm seeing a certain clinician in my head who's like, that all sounds amazing, but this is overwhelming and I can't do this on my own. So they might self-identify as like, I'm not tech savvy. I definitely don't do numbers very well. I feel like this is where your services come in. So can you speak to all the things you do for clinicians in this way?
Absolutely. I don't know who your client is, but my mother, the main reason why I got into this is my mother-in-law gave me a statement and was like, I don't know what to do with this. I was like, I got it. Let me
Yeah.
take a look at this. So from that moment on, I pretty much have jumped into QuickBooks and kind of made my home in that. Certain, so I would say, yeah, I really enjoy, working with therapists. I like being able to get into their numbers. I offer trainings. So if someone is so overwhelmed by QuickBooks, by all means, reach out to me at bravobookkeeper.com. I'm more than happy to set up an appointment. We can kind of walk through so that way these things don't seem so daunting, don't seem so
Nice.
scary. Yes, so I can help you understand your statement of cash flow. I can help you, really kind of dig into what that cash flow report center looks like.
Awesome. And if they're like, okay, that's one option, but then is there another option to have you like do a lot of the work for them, like where people are like in growth mode, they're starting to delegate to not burn out? What would that
Yeah,
look like?
absolutely. I can certainly do cleanup. So that's kind of one of my specialties. I like being able to put the puzzle together. So going through and doing the cleanups and then also managing the books monthly is something that I also do too. So I've got a variety of different options, and obviously helping any therapist I can is, yeah, certainly something that I love to do.
Absolutely. And I'm assuming you serve people all over the place because it's virtual and the fact that you have
Yes.
QuickBooks Online. So
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I also, if they are in the North Texas area, I will happily go and meet with them as well. So if they much rather have the reports printed and seeing it in front of their face, I can happy to accommodate that too.
awesome. So I know you mentioned your website, but I'm going to ask you to say it one more time here at the end of our video for folks who are like, I want to talk to Ashley. I need more information. One more
Yes,
time, where should they go?
absolutely. It is bravobookkeeper.com. And so we like to say bravo to your books.
I love that. I just love what is that alliteration where it's like the two letter BB or CC. I'm a
Yes.
sucker for that. So of course I love
Yes.
your business name.
Thank you. Yes.
Well, awesome. I appreciate you talking about something to get clinicians started to think about this. To like, I know a lot of people have, dare I say, New Year's resolutions even. So like many of us are
Yes.
about to go into hibernation mode where we slow down a little bit, start thinking about next year's goals. This video is so timely for that because you're saying, here are some things you can do. Here are some things to think about. So I really
Yes.
appreciate you coming on today, Ashley. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I am so happy that you had me, Cara. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I know you have a little offer for folks who watch this video all the way through. So this is the little nugget here at the end of like, hey, did you watch this whole video? Because Ashley has something for you. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you are a new client and you would like to sign up for us, we would like to give you $50 off of your initial setup fee.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I know that viewers appreciate it. And all these videos are really about getting the wheels turning of what's going to work for each clinician. So I just really appreciate your style and say, this is one option. Let us know if we can help. So
Yes,
thank you again, Ashley, for being here.
thank you.
All right, viewers, stay tuned for more videos. We'll see you next time.